Do we really have to have this chat now? Can we not do it in a couple of weeks where Arsenal were like fifth and we go, oh, Arteta's got to go?
Yeah, I was thinking now.
What were you thinking?
I've not had a chance to.
Obviously,
I got here at 10 to 4 because obviously I was working this morning Premier League. I didn't really have the chance to talk to Dan about how Arsenal slapped off his team's head at the weekend.
Oh, yeah. Look, that's probably why he's wearing those horrific jeans.
Dan, I don't mind them bottoms, but no, Arsenal, fantastic. Do I think they can win the league? I don't. I don't think they can win the league because I think Manchester City are going to take some beating. But, and I said it before, they have to finish in the top 4. They have to.
Let's talk about your side, shall we, Arsenal? What's different? We were talking about this in the meeting that you weren't in. What's different between this current Arsenal crop of players, this side, the way they're playing, and previous ones gone by? I don't mean previous Arsenal sides that have won the league. I mean previous Arsenal sides that have failed.
There's really, you can see there's a mentality shift. I think the squad depth is better than it has been in previous seasons. I think you have to look at the likes of Saliba coming in. Wow, what a signing he's been. Great header, Rolls Royce of a defender, brave, strong, quick, good on the ball. He's made a real difference. Obviously, of course, Odegaard himself. Gabriel Jesus, what a header again. He looks like a man reborn, given the opportunity to play centre forward.
How many goals has Gabriel Jesus got now this season?
4.
Just one more than Son, who's played 15 minutes. Yeah.
Don't matter, who's had a bigger impact.
Right, carry on.
So he has been he's been a revelation. But I think the impact that some of these players have had on the squad has made other players have to step up. The likes of Xhaka, who looks like another player who looks reborn, playing really well, has had his problems with his discipline and things like that, and had his issues with the supporters who've got on his case, but he's certainly now won them back. He's putting in great performances, and you'd have to say, you look at some of the performances this season, right? We were there at the first game of the season. We saw Arsenal get battered last season by Crystal Palace. They go there, they get a result 2-0. At the weekend, we saw them against Brentford. Brentford battered Arsenal, started last season. Arsenal absolutely, it could have been more than 3 at the weekend. So, of course, there's a shift in mentality. The Man United result is frustrating because you guys beat us, even though I thought Arsenal were the better side. But I don't think they can win the league because I think there's a lot of games coming up, and I think Manchester City will take some beating. But top 4 has to be minimum requirement.
Okay. I want to get your views on Arsenal's Ethan Nwaneri, who broke the record on Sunday as he became the youngest ever Premier League player. After the game, Mikel Arteta subbed on the midfielder. He got just 15, or during the game, he got just a couple of minutes, right? And he broke the record. He was 15 and 181 days, which is incredibly young. You're not really an adult, I don't think.
Well, you're not.
Okay. Legally, you're not, right? I think it's too young. Have a listen to this. This is Danny Murphy, He joined the press box last night. He gave his thoughts on the decision.
I'm not convinced it's the best move for a young player. I'm really not. He's obviously a super talent. I think it's probably trying to keep a young superstar happy a little bit, which is what managers do. I get that. But I would be more concerned with sometimes what that can do, because you can elevate a 15, 16, 17-year-old even at times to a position that becomes very difficult for them to cope with mentally, because they're already becoming a superstar. I'd imagine his Insta went up by about 300,000 in a day and things like this now. So although I'm pleased for him and his family, because it's a phenomenal record he's just broken, and hopefully he does go on to great things, I just think it could be something that Arteta maybe with hindsight wouldn't have done.
Do you agree with that?
A little bit, because I understand where Murph's coming from, because he's talking about a young man, which he is, being thrust into the limelight. It's one of them where, and I've been with managers before, where managers will take maybe 1 or 2 with the substitutes, because how many could be on the bench now? What is it? Is it 6, 7? 9 could be on the bench, right? It's one of them where I've seen managers, when there was 5 substitutes, take maybe an academy player, put them on the bench, just so they're in that environment, or even sometimes just bring them, travel with the squad just to see what it's like in that type of environment. I get where Arsenal were. They put him on the bench. They're winning comfortably. So he probably turned around and thought, you know what, I'll give him the opportunity. But I can understand where Murph's coming from, because he's saying about the 300,000 followers that he would have gained probably overnight on social media. The whole aspect of this young kid's life changes, because he's got to deal with now, he's still at school. He just say he goes on a public bus to school. That is going to have to change now, because people are going to be looking at him like, well, hold on a second, that's so-and-so. How he goes about his life, walking around up and down the street, because there are some idiots out there as well. But he's going to be in places where there might be supporters from rival clubs. Jealousy obviously is going to kick in now. While he's at school, what's going to happen while he's at school? All these different elements now, which do come when you play football, all of a sudden are going to have to change. So his whole life, where he lives, is the family home all of a sudden now, where he lives. And I don't know where he grew up or anything, but people are going to be looking, well, hold on, that's where he lives now. So it is, although I can understand it, if he's good enough and he's going to be in the squad quite a lot, then fair, I get it. But still, it's a lot for him to do with at only 15.
I think it's an awful decision for a couple of reasons. What you've just highlighted there, he came on for a couple of minutes, right? He had two touches, I think it was. One of them was a challenge. So he didn't need to come on, right? It wasn't for a tactical reason. There wasn't 20 minutes to go.
No.
So part of me thinks the reason, or part of me feels the reason Arteta did it was because it was all about him, Arteta. He's going to get column images tomorrow. What a great thing it is bringing the youth through, right? Didn't need to do it. But also, I just worry if this 15-year-old goes in for a 2-footy challenge or 50-50 ball with a 33-year-old, right? It literally is men against boys. He could get seriously injured, right? His body's still developing. Right?
I get that, but that on the pitch situation could happen at under 23's game.
Of course it could.
But it's not so much on the pitch, but also there's a little bit of me thinking that
I don't think it should be allowed. I don't think a 15-year-old should be allowed to play
a bit of
professional
interest
footballer.
from other clubs, and maybe they've kind of put him in the first team to show, listen, he's one of our superstars, and maybe to show himself, the kid, that, listen, look how important you are to us, look how close you are to the first team.
But you've got a duty of care as a manager, as a club, to protect not just these players in the way that you said, to protect them on the streets and getting on the bus.
That's more important than on the pitch, I think.
I just don't know if a 15-year-old is ready to play with grown men.
Well, listen, he's a good size. You saw he's big, so I don't really have that concerns on the pitch because there's only so much that can happen to him on a football pitch. Like you can get injured in training anywhere, so I'm not really worried about that. But it's the duty of care off the pitch because his whole life will change.
I want to just get back to Arsenal as well because it shouldn't all be about Waneri. Although he's promising. I can't say he looks great because I didn't see him, but he's promising from what I've read about him. But Arsenal back to the top of the Premier League now, right? They've only lost one game so far. They've got 18 points. Man City and Spurs have both got 17. Can they honestly push for this? Because I look at Arsenal, I think the season as it unfolds, they will batter the teams below them. They will struggle against the teams in and around them, as we've already seen. That's how I think Arsenal season will go. I'm not highlighting the Man United stuff.
No, but Arsenal played,
that's what I think will happen.
You could take confidence from that game because I thought Arsenal played well, but Man United got the result. I get that. The big test coming up 1st of October, North London derby when they come back off international break.
Where's that at?
The Emirates.
All right.
Big game. But I think Arsenal have got to be pushing now for that where they are right now. They currently sit top of the table. As I said, I don't think they'll win the league. I think Manchester City are too strong. But where they are now, they've given themselves a massive platform to finish inside the top 4, and that's what their aim's got to be. Anything else after that is a bonus. Because they're sitting top in October, coming up to October, we're still in September, there's no way you can quite say, yeah, they're one of the favourites. But they've given themselves a massive springboard to finish inside the top 4.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.